Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Newport where a pelican is being treated by the Outer Banks Wildlife Shelter after it came into contact with old fishing line injury. Now, the injury to the bird is on its flap of skin between its shoulder and wrist, according to the owl's Facebook post. Now, the bird is also said to have become too comfortable with humans. It has been habitually fed and now will require longer care so that it can relearn how to be sufficient on its own. Now, the shelter is asking for donations and support so they can continue to help these animals along the coastline. I also want to highlight some high school football news. That's coming up right around the corner, and we here at WITN are going to be in the mix fully as we are announcing that each Friday night at 7 p.m. beginning on August 22nd, WITN will be airing the Game of the Week on WITN 7.2 MyTV and on WITN streaming platforms, like right here on the WITN Now desk. Now, streaming platforms include WITN.com, WITN News smartphone apps, and the WITN News Smart TV app on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Google TV. Now, the ENC High School Football Game of the Week is sponsored by Kellum Law Firm and 264 Shoes and Apparel. Again, should make for a wonderful, wonderful viewing experience for the upcoming football season. Now, we do need to highlight your weather forecast. Today is again looking like a cooler than average day, but we're certainly warming up somewhat across eastern North Carolina. Let's take a look at exactly what we've got going on across the area. Again, a few rain showers around the Outer Banks. Continue to try to kind of just hug really the southern Outer Banks from Hatteras southward down across Ocracoke and then even extending down over the islands, the barrier islands there off of Atlantic and Carteret County. When we zoom the picture out a little bit further, again, you note that not a whole lot else is really happening throughout eastern North Carolina from a rain perspective. Air temperatures climbing into the low, well, areas closer to I-95, more in the low 80s, but certainly getting into the upper 80s as you approach Highway 17 and then move east of Highway 17. Right now we've got 87 degrees in Elizabeth City, 87 in Washington, 89 in Swan Quarter, 90 degrees currently being reported in Stumpy Point. It has been a toasty day, but the good news is humidity is down a little bit from where it was yesterday, which is why our feels like temperature, while a few areas getting into the triple digits as far as your heat index goes, aren't really oppressive. Still looking again at more of the mid to upper 90s as far as some of those higher heat index values go. Of course, Windsor, Edenton, and Stumpy Point all coming in with a triple digit heat index. So let's take again a look at your full 8-day forecast. We've got scattered storms across eastern North Carolina. It's going to again be one of those afternoons where I think we'll have a better opportunity for rain showers along and east of Highway 17. But then we get into your Saturday night into Sunday morning, and that's when the air temperatures really start to drop. That is going to make it feel very nice outside. 68 degrees early Sunday morning will do a great job in pushing that humidity down, creating a very comfortable feel for the tail end of the weekend. And then we get to Monday and Tuesday, air temperatures holding in the low 90s for Monday, upper 80s for Tuesday. Another brief little cool down due to the approaching right now, Hurricane Erin. Could be a major hurricane, though, by the time it moves between Cape Hatteras and Bermuda. It should stay about 200 to 300 miles off of our coast. But those of you watching along the Outer Banks or plan on being on the coast coming up next week, understand that there will be high rip current threats, high surf, beach erosion possible, and again, some breezy conditions, particularly along the Outer Banks. Now, the further west you go, the less noticeable those winds are going to be, but really want to highlight the fact that rough surf is going to be expected again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Of course, we've got the Watermelon Festival that will be happening. So if you're watching on the coast right now and just don't want to have to deal with the headache of a hurricane, even 200 miles off the coast. Totally understandable. Head on inland towards Winterville, and you should end up with a wonderful time. Again, that actually starts on Thursday. The big day, though, to really head out is Saturday, as that's when a lot of the music is going to be happening. Live performers coming up Saturday evening at the Watermelon Festival. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Supreme Choice.